Have you ever noticed how easy it is to judge others about how they handle money, how they spend it, save it, give it, or don't? Well, what most people don't realize is that when you judge others about how they are with money, it not only hurts relationships, but it reinforces scarcity, and it actually makes you feel worse about your own situation. In this video, I'm going to share with you why we do this, how it impacts us, and how to stop this. My name is Ellen Rogan, and I help people stress less, prosper more, and reshape their relationship with money. Judging others around money is incredibly common, but we rarely stop to look at how it's really impacting us. Today, I'll share why judging others around money has very little to do with them and everything about what's happening inside of us. We judge how much people spend, how much they save, the risks they take, the risks they don't take, if they're being reckless with money. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it shows up in conversations, and often it's just a quiet, subtle thought that we have in our mind about how others are around money. What's important to understand about judging others is that it rarely comes from a place of confidence or clarity. It usually comes from a place of comparison, internal shame, or lack. Our mind is looking for relief, and it often does that in a way of looking at how others are and comparing yourself to them. We decide who's right, who's wrong, and this doesn't actually make us feel better. It's kind of like sugar. If for a moment it might make us feel good, but ultimately it drains our energy. After we do this, what often happens is this subtle tightening, a feeling of shame or lack or distrust, and clearly separation. And this is not how to grow prosperity in your life, by creating more separation or self-judgment for yourself. And yet it's really easy to do. My husband, Stephen, and I, when we would take walks through our neighborhood, years ago, we'd pass this house that was newly built, and outside of the house, there was a jet ski, one of those cars for their kids to use that was actually electric and motorized. There was a big SUV and all sorts of other toys. And Stephen and I used to call it, oh, that's the house of conspicuous consumption. And we would joke about it, but subtly, there was something going on there. That there was a judgment that was happening about how these people chose to spend money. And the truth is, every time we judge someone else, it creates restriction in us and not a sense of abundance and expansion, but more of a feeling of lack. Judgment is rooted in scarcity, like there's a right way and a wrong way. There's only so much to go around. Appreciation, on the other hand, is expansive. This is a feeling of there's more than enough to go around, and everybody gets to choose how they are with money. Appreciation reminds us that everyone is on their own financial journey. They get to learn from that, they get to grow, and our work is to pay attention to what's going on in our financial mindset and what we're believing about money and how we choose to spend or save. And you may think that, oh, what's the harm? They're not going to know. We are energetic beings. If you're judging someone, they are going to feel that, whether you say anything or not. Even if you're not making a micro expression of judgment, people get it. I remember when I was a financial advisor, there was a client who I had a really great relationship for years. And there was one interaction we had where I was judging how they were supporting their child. They were putting their son up in a fancy apartment in downtown Chicago. He wasn't earning much money. And when they were telling me that story, whether I made a face or they just felt that I was thinking, why are they doing that? What happened is within a few weeks after that, they decided they didn't want me as their financial advisor anymore. And it wasn't anything that I said, it was a sense that they felt from me. So don't kid yourself when you think that people aren't really knowing what you're saying. It's not that they're mind readers, but we're energetic beings and we can feel that. What would have been a much better and more business savvy response from me would have been curious. and asking more questions so that I understood things better and they would have felt understood instead of judged. So here's a simple way to interrupt this pattern. I call it the catch and release formula. And it's really 3 steps. The first step is to catch. Catch yourself giving a judgment about someone or to something. Just notice that. It could sound something like, oh my God, I would never do that. Or they're so materialistic, or I can't believe they would spend their money like that. Those types of things, whether you're saying them out loud to someone else or you're saying it to yourself, awareness is key. Sometimes just bringing those thoughts out into daylight helps to diminish them. The second step is release. And this can be something as simple as saying, that's their journey. This isn't mine. I don't know their full story. Because if you did, you might understand why they became that way. Maybe they do want to prove something based on their childhood or something they experienced. We don't know other people's stories. Even if you know them really well, you might not know their money story. You could also say, I release my need to compare. See how these feel just more peaceful? That you're letting go, releasing that judgment you have on someone else. This step is about letting go and not correcting others. And the third step is to affirm. And this is about saying a statement that grounds you in your own relationship with money. Could sound like, I trust my own path with money and allow others to have theirs. This affirmation restores self-trust and reduces the need for comparison, releases that judgment. So catch yourself noticing those judgy thoughts, release the judgment by saying something like, this is their journey, this is not mine. And the final step is to affirm, something that grounds you in your own relationship with money. Talking negatively about others leaks your energy. When you affirm your own situation, let other people have theirs, this builds your abundance, it builds your relationship with money, it builds your ability to receive and keep what you have. Judgment contracts and appreciation expands. So this week, catch yourself. Notice when judgments arise. See if you can release that judgment. Appreciate where someone's at, be curious about it, and realize that's their journey and you get to work on yours. I hope this is helpful for you. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, please do. And if this video could be helpful for someone you know, go ahead and send it to them. I look forward to seeing you next time.